Okay, so here we are today. This is a Saturday morning, and I am sitting at Winter's Hotel, and I'm Wendy Lynn Gaspard, and I am. What am I doing? Interviewing you or something? I'm bugging. I'm interrogating my friend Nicholas Cryer, because why? Because I don't know. I just find his opinions interesting, and I don't think that there's anybody who really actually puts him right straight up on the camera and asks him these questions, or maybe they do. Anyways, I'm going to do it. So, Nicholas Cryer, how many points of jib did you do this morning?
All of them.
All of the points.
I don't know. That looked like about two, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm asking that is because I also use drugs, and I think we, pitched in some personal usage of them, and I got very little. Okay. First of all, he got most of it to begin with, and then I gave him mine. So I don't know if but I drink a lot, so I'm not trying to be better than. I'm just saying, how in God's name do you do that many drugs or that much whatever, and still function like a human being, write articles, you're on boards of directors and things like that, and you're functioning as a human being um, all the time, and really you're forwarding in a progressive way the world, really, but right from here in this little downtown east side fucked up community, you are proving a point every day when you go to work that it doesn't matter whether you're high or drunk or whatever, if you can do the job, right? Depending on the job, depending on what the job is, right?
Yeah.
Of course. But you go to work, you don't hide it, and you've got a great amount of influence in the community, and you write like a professional journalist. Well, you are. Okay, anyways, here you go. I want to know what you have to think about decriminalization versus legalization. Thank you.
I think the reason I can do it are twofold. One, because I can. B, because I choose to.
Mhm.
That's it. Because it's a okay. So decriminal legalization. Decriminal legalization is about the drugs are the problem. You know our saying, and the drugs aren't the problem. It's how we treat each other.
Yeah.
Legalization is about drugs are the problem.
Yeah.
We need to control that. We need to punish it because it's the problem.
Mhm.
Whereas decriminal is more about how we treat each other, right? That we're wasting a lot of resources with cops. Uh, Arresting people for simple possession and stuff. Like everyone around here has drugs on them at any time, all the time. We can't arrest everybody, so why even bother? Right? Taking up jail times and court times, all this, to those resources could be better allocated somewhere else. Plus, because people are scared of the cops arresting them and stuff for their simple possession, they won't go and use the safe sites, right? They'd rather stay home and use a loan, right? And then legalization takes all the power away from the illicit market, and Canada is like the fourth biggest economy in the world. So that's like a lot of money that you'd be taking away from the world's gangsters, and we can't afford to piss off the world's gangsters because they kind of run this.
Okay, could you say that again? That last part about
Okay, well,
the
just
world's
think about
economy.
the world's economy is
Yeah.
like Canada's right up there with the world's economy. Yeah, in the black
So in the
market.
black market.
Speaking specifically of the illicit market, right? The Canada has a large vested interest in in
The importation of drugs.
Right? Yes, and that goes all the way.
That
Goes
you're
on
saying
both
that
sides,
that
right?
floats our economy in a way.
Yeah,
Sort of.
exactly.
Okay.
And you can obviously it's been fucking proven that fucking pharmaceutical companies and whatever practically run the illicit market anyways, right? Like nobody's.
So then what's the problem? Okay, I have to. Okay, go ahead.
So decriminalization, what it does is fucking it makes the cops it restricts their power to enforce that law. It's still illegal, right?
Yes.
But they're not allowed to enforce it because we shouldn't be criminalized for it.
Right.
For that, they know we're carrying illegal drugs, and we're not allowed to be criminalized for it. We're not allowed to be penalized for it. Exactly.
Right. Because it's sort of established that the penalization of that sort of usage does nothing for the economy or for the person in terms of safety or for any. It doesn't really serve any purposes at all. Economically, or it's very counted. Right. So if people are worried about safety, it's sort of like it's dangerous to have something be illegal and not decriminalized.
More at risk.
Right. And then at the same time, it's also hindering our economy and also filling up places like our prisons and for the economy, that's part of it, but also our healthcare system, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're feeling comfortable going to a safe injection site because it's decriminalized,
Yeah.
you are more likely to not end up in the hospital, which actually each hospital visit probably costs a heck of a lot more than it does to run an OPS site,
Yeah.
right? One hospital visit probably costs, you know, a year's worth or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know the numbers. I'm just guessing that there's something ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
You really want to prevent that sort of
Plus
overload.
the stigmatizing,
Yeah,
right?
and yeah, and
And the problem with stigma is that it can perpetuate itself, and the laws is how you do it, right? That you make people think that's a bad person because it has a stamp legal on it or whatever. So then if it's illegal, then you must be a criminal, right? But like everybody uses drugs, right?
right.
And we're not. It's not my place
Well,
to
not
judge what
everybody
you do.
uses drugs. Let's
Okay,
let's
not
correct
everybody,
that.
but everybody sort of uses a vice or whatever that
Whether
morally,
whether
when we
it's
moralize it, right? When we moralize it, when we look at you and say that you're bad, you're wrong because you're doing this illegal substance. Well, who are you to judge me about what I do with my own body, what I put in my own body? Like, is it it's not illegal to carry an illicit substance
It's
or
not
whatever,
directly
have it on
affecting
you.
the
Yeah,
person that's, yeah.
exactly. And what I do with my own body is my own business, right? And it's a policy say, um, no, you're not allowed to do bad substances or whatever. Well, employed business, then fine, and fire me, right? If I did, then fine, I'll take the consequences for that. But the truth is that you want me because I'm showing up and I'm doing the work, and you couldn't even tell that I was on the drugs anyway unless I told you, right? Like,
so in that sense, would you
or
say that you, in some ways, are self-medicating? That some people
yeah,
who use drugs are not necessarily addicted to the drug necessarily for, or maybe there's a combination of things why they do it. Maybe it does make them feel good or not, but it maybe serves a purpose that's beyond just a sort of a high.
yeah,
Maybe it's something that the body chemistry sometimes in some people need, and whether that's because of something that's maybe because some people who have PTSD or whatever, it changes the chemical in your brain, maybe that, or maybe they're born with a different
it's the
chemical
same.
balance
Yeah, it's
or
the same
whatever,
chemicals you
right?
get. You get the same chemicals that you're seeking in the drugs as you get from healthy socialization. When you're accepted by your peers and stuff, and you're accepted for who you are, whatever you're doing, and people you can tell that people aren't judging you, and
Yeah.
you're allowed to be who you are.
Yeah.
You function more naturally and more,
Right.
better.
Right. Okay. So let me unpack that a little bit more because I think that's really that's huge, right?
Yeah.
So what I don't know if this is my interpretation of what you said or if this is what you said or part of it, that partially when you say you experience something, whether it be that you're born with maybe a different chemical balance than somebody else or whatever, we're all unique, or that maybe through some sort of trauma, uh, which we all know now science has shown alters your brain chemistry, and also just plain self-esteem, right?
Yeah.
And so that some of these drugs provide what a lot of antidepressants provide, right, which are
Yeah.
legal. And so let's say you are using a drug that maybe you have a lot of PTSD trauma in your childhood, and somehow you end up on doing a street drug that seems to sort of fit into your chemistry that you're missing, maybe from the trauma that it took it away, adding a bit of serotonin, whatever, allowing you to then feel a sense of confidence that maybe you should have naturally had that trauma not occurred, and thereby you are able to then take part in activities and jobs and so on and so forth that you maybe would not have had the courage to